stop. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Erika Kirk is feeling the heat right now, and it's showing big time. Because after months of denying everything, that DNA test officially hit the court system, and it did exactly what she didn't want it to do. It confirmed her ex is the biological father, and the second those results were locked into legal paperwork, he didn't pause, didn't celebrate, and didn't stay quiet. He filed a lawsuit immediately. Now he's coming in hard for full custody and demanding child support, and that changes everything fast. Erika spent years shaping the narrative around her life, her image, and her family situation. But this lawsuit doesn't just challenge her story. It blows it wide open. The control she once had is slipping because the man she pushed out of the picture isn't negotiating anymore. He's letting a judge step in and take charge.
Y'all, whose kids are these? Whose kids are these? Erika Kirk provided this as proof of where she was September 9th. Not that September 9th was ever in question, but she provided this as proof. But y'all, whose kids are these? Something about this proof doesn't add up and people are skipping right through it.
And according to what's being alleged next, this DNA test may only be the opening move, because once courts start digging, they don't stop at one detail. If more evidence starts stacking up, Erika could be looking at losses she never planned for. If you've been following this Erika Kirk saga closely, you can almost pinpoint the moment things started unraveling. And it all circles back to that photo she posted to prove where she was on September 10th, the same day her husband was shot in front of a massive crowd. That post didn't calm anyone down. It did the opposite. People immediately started questioning Erika's movements around the time of Charlie's death, especially since her behavior afterward raised serious red flags. Early on, Erika tried to smooth it over by claiming she was with her mother at a medical appointment in Arizona when Mikey McCoy called her with the news that Charlie had been shot. But that explanation only sparked more doubts and side eyes. People weren't buying that story at all, and honestly, it didn't take much to see why. Erika had already been caught contradicting herself way too many times, so her explanation just didn't land anymore.
Of Charlie Kirk's children is not his.
The trust was already gone, and once the noise got too loud to drown out, she tried to clap back by posting a photo she claimed proved she was away with the kids when Charlie was killed. But that move blew up in her face fast. Instead of clearing anything up, that photo raised even more red flags. The kid shown in the picture looks noticeably older than Erika's own children, and the internet clocked it immediately. Publicly, Erika and Charlie were known to have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old at the time, yet the kids in that photo looked at least 2 years older each, and people weren't letting that slide. That's when the conversation shifted hard. The DNA talk didn't just grow, it exploded everywhere. People weren't only demanding a DNA test anymore, they started pushing for a deeper look into Erika's past. Some began questioning whether Erika already had a whole separate family before she ever crossed paths with Charlie, and that theory changed the entire tone of the saga. Even more unsettling, people wanted answers about whether Erika's ex was still around and actively involved in her life, because that would explain why the kids never seemed connected to Charlie from the jump.
When I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than go. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another.
These rumors didn't come out of thin air either. They were built on years of inconsistencies that kept piling up, making it harder and harder to ignore the gaps in her story. One moment that really fueled the speculation was a resurfaced video of Erika standing with her ex, Tyler JT Massey. The clip came from a Trump rally, which wasn't unusual for Erika, but what stood out was the young girl positioned between them who looked strikingly similar to JT. The way Erika interacted with that child had people asking serious questions about whether she was the girl's mother and if JT was the father. What made it even messier was the timing, because that video popped back up right after Erika claimed she hadn't dated anyone in the 5 years before meeting Charlie, something that suddenly didn't line up at all. People didn't just hear what she said, they caught how she said it, and that tone stuck with them. It came off like she was telling the interviewer, "Look at me, I'm different." separating herself from other women and painting this image of being extra disciplined and untouched. And that didn't sit right with a lot of people at all. That claim fell apart almost instantly. Those so-called quiet 5 years were easy to check, and the internet didn't waste time. Erika showed up in episodes of Bravo's Summer House, and those clips were still floating around. She was filmed at New York City bars and out in the Hamptons, and in nearly every scene she's drinking, socializing, or clearly on dates with men. So when she doubled down and tried to sell the idea that her life was ultra-focused and locked down before Charlie came along, the receipts flooded back hard. And here's where things really started spiraling. A lot of people believe Erika's ex was the one quietly pushing those old clips back into the spotlight. The same ex she allegedly tried to erase from her timeline, and the same man many believe is the biological father of her kids. People think he finally got tired of her constantly reshaping the story to fit whatever perfect image she wanted to play that week. That theory is what pushed this mess straight into the courtroom. It actually gets more complicated. Resurfaced records suggest Erika wasn't in some short, casual situation with JT Massey at all. When people started digging into their history, it became clearer why many believe he's the ex now taking legal action over custody. Erika and JT even had a full engagement-style photo shoot that made it look like they were headed straight toward marriage. Add in the child they were rumored to share, and that's not light or temporary by any stretch. On top of that, Erika herself once spoke openly in an interview about how deeply in love she was with JT, which only made people question why she later tried to act like that chapter barely existed. Now, none of this alone would automatically scream scandal, but the real issue is why Erika felt the need to lie about it in the first place. That's the part people can't let go of. Did she really believe those receipts would never resurface, or did she think she could talk her way out of it like before? Because if that was the plan, it explains why she looked completely shaken when that long—
So you remember I told you that Daddy was working with his friends from heaven to send you presents every day, so you always know you're loved? See?
This is Sesame Street.
It
I love
is.
Sesame Street.
I know, it's Sesame Street, but all these are for you, baby.
Erika has always been comfortable running the narrative and shaping how people see her through interviews, appearances, and media buzz. That's been her playbook for years. When the questions got uncomfortable, she leaned into that intense stare during interviews, almost like she was daring people to stop pushing, but instead of shutting things down, it only made people lean in harder. That move didn't scare her ex off at all. If anything, it did the opposite. People close to the situation believe he became even more motivated to speak up because he didn't agree with how Erika was handling things involving the kids. From his point of view, things felt off, and watching her brush everything aside only made him feel like stepping in was necessary. Once the DNA panic started blowing up online, the tone completely shifted. People weren't just gossiping anymore. They were openly questioning Erika's decisions as a parent and whether the kids were in the most stable situation possible. The pressure was loud, public, and non-stop. You'd think that kind of heat would make her slow down, regroup, and show she had control of the situation, but she didn't. Instead, she posted that grainy photo that explained nothing and kept rolling through interviews like nothing was wrong. To people watching, that came off careless and out of touch, like she wasn't taking the concerns seriously at all. That response alone helped many understand why her ex decided to officially push for custody through the courts. What really disturbed a lot of viewers, though, was how Erika reportedly handled emotional conversations with her child about Charlie.
I guess it's just the public is making all this stuff up. None of this adds up. No. Oh, lady. No, she needs to excuse me, my language. She needs to get picked up.
People felt those moments should have been approached gently, with reassurance and clarity, not confusion or emotional weight placed on a young kid. Whether intentional or not, that moment stuck with people and made the concern even louder. By that point, the narrative Erika once controlled was completely slipping away. The public wasn't buying explanations anymore. The legal pressure was mounting, and every move she made only added more fuel to the fire. What once looked like confidence now looked like panic, and people started realizing this situation was bigger than just headlines. It was about accountability, and that was something Erika could no longer dodge. You don't need a scientist, a therapist, or any expert to tell you this is not the right way to talk to a child who's trying to process why a parent they loved is suddenly gone. A child asking those kinds of questions is clearly reaching out for comfort and reassurance. But Erika allegedly didn't seem to recognize it as a cry for help at all. Instead of slowing down and being present, she reportedly handed both kids off to nannies and immediately booked a flight for her next tour stop like nothing had happened. That decision alone made a lot of people uncomfortable, and the few times she did show herself with the kids, it just so happened that cameras were rolling, making it feel more like image control than real parenting. But even that didn't land the way she expected. In the footage, Erika barely held her daughter, and viewers noticed the emotional distance right away. Then she took things even further by bringing her child into a warehouse filled with gifts sent by complete strangers.
Face, her expression hardens and she goes, "Stop." And we're supposed to be like, oh, whoa.
That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Or two, some people say you were actually a Mossad agent sitting in front of me, and you were Charlie's handler, and Israel killed Charlie.
Which left people seriously questioning her judgment. And here's where the situation starts to flip fast. According to reports, Erika's ex isn't the only one stepping in over custody concerns. Charlie's parents are now involved too, and that adds a whole new layer of tension to everything unfolding. Even though many people believe the kids were never biologically Charlie's, one thing has always been clear. Charlie loved them like they were his own. He showed up for them, protected them, and treated them as family. And people close to him believe he would have wanted those kids surrounded by stability, care, and people who genuinely put their needs first. That's the real legacy Charlie left behind, and that's exactly what his parents are trying to protect right now. Not headlines, not clout, not interviews. The kids, the children he loved, cared for, and treated like family every single day. While Erika keeps saying she's fighting to preserve Charlie's work and public image, people can't help but notice that the kids he loved the most seem to be getting overlooked in the process. And here's the part that really hits. Whether Charlie was their biological father or not doesn't erase the fact that he stepped up and loved those kids like his own. That bond was real. Yet now, it looks like everyone is trying to step in and protect them except the one person they're directly tied to, Erika. And that says more than any statement ever could. Now, Erika is officially backed into a corner, and this time there's no posting her way out of it. The DNA test is real, the lawsuit is active, and the courts don't care about her online persona, her media runs, or the carefully crafted version of herself she's been selling to the public. They care about facts, stability, and what's actually best for the kids. Because at this point, it's not just one man standing up saying, "Those are my children." It's two separate sides stepping in and saying, Erika isn't fit to handle this situation the way it's going right now. And that's the scariest part for her. She's losing control in real time, and there's nothing she can do to spin it anymore. So now it's on you. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if this breakdown gave you clarity. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Share this video so more people see the full picture, and I'll see you on the next one.